What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? We're here. The Martine show is about to start. We're going to have our lovely guest in the house, Miss Nikki Knox, which I will invite in a few seconds. For those of you who don't know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, basically we have the Martine show that comes on at 8 p.m. EST. And tonight we have Miss Nikki Knox who's going to be in the house. Get ready for her, please. Okay, she has a full bag of stuff to share with us, and I know it's going to be full of laughter, full of joy and happiness, because that is the spirit that Miss Nikki Knox brings to us. Okay, so the Martine show, basically, it's a self-love journey. It's about self-love, and we talk about self-awareness, self-development, and everything social. Everything we do discuss comes straight from the guests. Okay, and the questions and that we come about with basically are intuitive. I mean, it just flows. No preparation, nothing. We just go with the flow. So we're going to bring Miss Nikki Knox into the house right now. Just give me a moment to connect her. So I sent an invitation to Miss Nikki.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Okay, first point of reference. We both got glasses on, so I do love that.
Yeah.
Because truthfully speaking, I don't like wearing my glasses, but since COVID last year, I started wearing my glasses more and be like, listen, I'll just go live with my glasses. I don't care. This is me.
Right.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
normally I wear my contacts. Okay. Especially when I step out and everything. And most people know me with my contacts. But as of 2020, they started knowing me with my glasses.
Glasses on. Yeah. Yeah. Mine are more readers, but still, I still need them, even if I'm gonna look at, the camera or any questions or whatever. So.
I hear that. I hear that. So that's a good thing right there. Something in common. As I stated to everyone already, I know this is going to be a bubbly type of conversation because we have a bubbly person right here today. Okay. So before we even start, let me tell you guys about finding this Miss Nikki Knox, what I went through. First and foremost, she actually scheduled herself on my appointment book as someone else. Well, it's her, but a different name. So I was looking for that other name constantly, and I looked for that name for 2 days, to tell you the truth. Sunday and Monday. By Monday evening, I said to myself, I do not understand how I cannot find this person. And I'm like, I'm not connected to this person, but I know we're connected, through an organization, which is a women empowerment organization. We support each other, women supporting women. It's called Achi, which we'll talk about that towards the end. And I said to myself, what is going on? So I sent an email to her, and I was waiting for the response and nothing came through. And so I went to our group and I said, listen, because I started having so many other glitches. Like I had a glitch with my appointment book, which got erased from, the system. And then I was on the phone calling, to get it fixed. And they couldn't fix it, but then they told me to recreate a new link for it. So once I recreated that, then all of my appointments started to populate again. So I didn't have to restate anything. So I went to the group and I said, you guys need to help me because I can't find Miss Angela Knox. Like, I'm looking for her all over the place. She doesn't come up anywhere. I just do not understand.
Like, who is
So,
this girl?
yeah. So Kimberly comes and says, well, what did she tell you that was her government name? Like,
I know
she's not.
Angela.
She is nowhere as Angela. Like, you got to look for Nikki. And then she pointed me to the page. I'm like, oh, I had no idea. I was like, okay, no problem. So I went on and I contacted Miss Nikki Knox, okay, AKA Angela Knox, same person. And then I said, I've been looking for you for like the longest now. So
Oh, I'm
what is going
sorry.
on?
I
And
should.
she's like,
I wish
and
I
then
would
she
have used
said
the other
to me,
email. Yeah.
oh, Nikki's my nickname. And I'm on by Nikki. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So from that moment on, I already knew this woman right here. From the way everything just flowed, I was like, you know what,
That
this
was
is gonna be,
funny.
it's gonna be a true kicker, okay?
Yeah.
Because even when I posted, it took a while because nobody knew what I was talking about, who I was talking about, and then Kimberly was like, "That's Nikki," and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to put that out and to say how it that what happened pretty much denotes a lot of you, who you are, your personality, and how things just flow. No matter how it turns, it's just going to continue to flow. And I picked that up because I'm very good with picking up an energy, and the energy is so vibrant right here. So I just wanted to say thank you for finally letting me know that it's Nikki,
It's
but it's
me.
not like it was a bother or anything. But what
Right.
I went through to find you was amazing. Like I was on Facebook, I was on Instagram, and I was like, there is no Angela.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I,
because when I said, I said, "Oh my gosh, I did go in Angela to do my to do my appointment." And then when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, she been looking." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
it's okay. It's okay. So how are we gonna do this? You're just gonna go on and introduce yourself, and then the conversation will flow from there.
Okay. Well, I'm Angela Nicole Knox. My nickname is Nikki, Chef Nikki. Um, that's but Nikki is just Nikki.
Okay.
That's my name.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you are a caterer, you are a personal chef, and you are an author as well.
Right.
So when did the catering part of you come about? Like, let's talk about that talent and that gift.
Okay. Actually, it's been 24 years now since I started catering. It was August. Well, yeah, this is, but July, excuse me. No,
July.
yeah, it was August. Because I gauge it by my son's birthday because it was my first wedding, and a girl, because I had did some food one day and took it to work, and the young lady was like, "Can you cater my wedding?" And I was like, "Yes." And I knew nothing about catering, not a thing, but I knew I was gonna do this wedding. And so I had my son the 30th of July, and like 3 weeks later, I was catering for 100 people.
What?
And then that's what birthed it at that time, Genesis Catering.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So then I just, started researching and learning what catering was about. And, it just grew from there. Just started learning through trial and tribulation and mistakes, but then I kind of got
Of
it right
course.
towards the end.
Okay, okay. Wow, that is really amazing. Like, talk about stepping out on faith.
Yeah, it was. It was. But I knew, I've always liked food. I always been in food. But I also had ventured out into healthcare. I was a CNA, worked in doctor's office, did all of that, but I always returned back to food some kind of way. And so I just said, okay,
Okay.
this is it. This is it.
Wow. So for those of you who basically have probably been contemplating on starting your project or your dream journey, this is an interview that you really want to listen to because Nikki just shared with us that it just so happened she loves food and she basically went and catered a party. No experience, nothing. She just
No.
knew how to make whatever she was making. and that was it. And then she catered for 100 people, her first catering gig, and then the journey continued. It started rolling.
Yeah.
I think that is so amazing, to tell you the truth. That is really amazing. So what made you move further? Obviously, there's definitely a passion there because I could hear it in your voice. So
Yeah.
let us know about that passion. But what made you say that, you know what, I want to become a personal chef?
The personal chef honestly just came a couple just during COVID, honestly, because at the end of 2019, I knew I was shifting. Began catering for 23 years at that time. Catering is
Mhm.
hard work, and I
Yes.
felt like I had put in the work, and then and after a while, it gets, you have those moments where it's like, I can't do this no more. It's getting taxing on the body, and so so I had done a couple of private events for people, especially during COVID. And then I was like, you know what? I like this, because I'm out, and I get to, it's more intimate. And so I was like, I like being a personal chef. I think I want to do this, but I still cater, but I do it on a smaller scale now. But again, I
Hmm.
had already thought about, transitioning anyway. So it just kind of sealed the deal whenever COVID hit. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I like this. And so that's how the personal chef started. And then I just rebranded everything.
Wow, wow, wow. Talk about creation. I mean, your creativity is high, very high level, and your faith is very high because um just to know how you just pivot automatically. That's amazing. A lot of people are still looking for their point of pivot. Like, what's their
Right.
pivoting point?
Mm-hmm.
And some people maybe have not even recognized their pivoting point, because sometimes it could be there, but you don't really get it. Like, you're just so 100% certain about what you wanted to do,
Right.
which definitely is a calling, but at the same time, it's just, can you talk about that certainty? Like, how did you acquire to get to that point to say, okay, so I started this catering, I kind of dropped on it, and then now it's turning into personal chef during the start of a pandemic, basically.
Yeah.
How how did you come about with all that with such ease and say, like, let's run with it?
She said ease.
Well, yeah.
Just ease. Um, you know what? That is so, I don't, that's a good question because I just, I am really, one of my girlfriends says, you're just like Mike, you just do it. Um,
Yes, you
yeah,
are.
I just do it. And
And I
if it
love
comes,
it.
if I get it, it's like, okay, I don't know how, but then I just start researching. So the pivotal moments, again, I mean, now there was like I said, a shift in catering because the passion wasn't there like it was before, but I knew I still wanted to bring good food to people. I still
Mhm.
wanted to stay in that realm, but but at first I just didn't know how I could still do it um, without doing the catering. And then, but like I said, and then when somebody asked me about doing this, that was just like the light bulb. It was like, yeah, this is how I'm going to do it, and still stay in my gifting, in my realm of being able to, still stay in the kitchen. And so I just, took, I just did it. I didn't
Wow.
question, I didn't second guess it or anything. I just knew, and then I always think about it later. Do it, I'm opposite. I don't think about it. I do it, and then I think about like, okay, now what you just do? How did you just do
I, c-
that?
I I really do love that aspect of you because you jump in head first, and
Yeah,
your feet are your whole entire body, and you're
right.
just like, let's tackle it,
Yeah.
and let's see how it works. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I really do, and that identifies a lot with me. You know, with that being said, there are times where our type of personality being so vibrant and high on creativity, we jump into things, but then at the same time, while you're there trying to figure out what's the best way to make it work, like, have you ever come to a point of maybe have some sort of discouragement, or were you just constantly looking for other ways to continue to go? Like, I'm trying to see exactly where you might have just come to a lower point of energy.
Right. Well, and I would have to go back to my catering experience because that journey has been the longest. So even after
Mhm.
starting the catering, it kind of just took off, and then I got in contact with some pharmaceutical reps, and then they started hiring me to provide their lunches for their doctor's offices, which took me to another dimension because now I needed this kitchen. Because now, I got to get out the house because you're not legal right now. You got to get your kitchen. And so I found the building again, on faith because I hadn't saved a dime or anything. And so I found this restaurant that used to be a restaurant. And I said, okay, this is it. And so I went to the man. I said, look, I ain't got no money, but if you give me a few months, let me get in there. I'll make some money. I thought he was gonna tell me no. No, he said, okay. So he gave me 3 months to go in with no money down. I did take, what I was making to help get, because I had to put some equipment back in there. My grandmother, bless her, I love her. She helped me a little bit financially because she saw what I was trying to do. I got in there again. I was going for catering, but since it was a restaurant, we turned it into a restaurant as well. So in that process, the catering started to hurt, to suffer a little bit because I was so focused on the restaurant. And restaurant is another ball game. So anyway,
Mhm.
speed up the story. Just about 6, 7 months in, I had to close the doors because the restaurant is not, again, it takes time to make money in the restaurant business. So the catering suffered because everything I was making with catering I had to use for the restaurant.
Yes.
So anyway, so January that year, I ended up closing the door. That broke my heart. But even in the process of stepping out, I lost my house. I lost my car.
Mhm.
I eventually got separated. I had to have
Mhm.
a hysterectomy. I mean, just so much happened during that time. And so
Mhm.
I just felt like a big failure. I did the disappointment. I even got a little depressed.
Mhm.
And then I came in contact with another chef. A few months later, my pastor, we went through, some counseling and everything. And he was like, we got to do this again, so we did. And then we started back up again. And so this time I had changed it to Divine Catering because I was like, God, without God, I cannot do nothing. So that's where Divine came from. And then it just, took off from there, and still some bumps in between. I've been in good business relationship, bad business relationships, but I'm just like, I can't stop, because I know that was what I was purposed to do. So I just,
Oh, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing this part of the story. It is so meaningful to me, really. Because I know personalities like us being high in creativity, being a go-getter, looking to basically progress in life. Like, you just want to move forward, you're not afraid, you want to test things out.
right,
Um, our downfall, as much as the creativity level is high, our downfall could hit very, very low as well. And when
yeah,
it hits low at times, um, it's weird to say, but sometimes we don't even want to be reached, if you
right,
understand,
right,
right?
exactly, yep,
Like,
exactly.
leave me alone.
Yep. I was like, I'm gonna go
Type of
back to
thing.
work. I'm gonna go over here in my corner and just,
Yeah,
get this little paycheck and just try to see what I can do from here.
yeah. Like,
Yeah,
let me try to figure this out.
yeah,
Um, and there are times where it takes time. It takes a lot of time, depending on what the level is. Sometimes it turns into, very, very low depression.
yeah.
And I've been there, so I know exactly what that is all about. So I do thank you for sharing a very sentimental part of
Yeah.
your life with us, because regardless, no matter what the situation is, we all go through hard times.
Right.
Things are not simple and easy, regardless whatever your faith is and whatever your mindset is, we all go through these ups and downs within the roads. And stuff. So I do commend you for actually putting out your truth, just letting us know.
Yeah. But
There are people in the chat room, so I want to take the time to acknowledge each and every one of you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Miss Nikki Knox right here, telling her story, letting us know about her journey, her self-love journey, with all the turns and all the pivots that she went
right.
through in there
Yeah.
as well. We have a comment from Publisher Palat, says, cast the net to the other side. Yes, I do understand. You're absolutely right. And she also had another comment, says, God makes provision all the time. That is really true. As long as
Absolutely.
you stick to it, God will always provide. Dwayne Hurt, thank you so much for being in the house. Dwayne is an avid The Martine Show fan. He's like
Oh,
on every
thank
show.
hey,
So
Dwayne.
thank you again for being here. We have Mr. Ranch Turner, who is another avid fan of The Martine Show. Thank you for being with us as well. Upfront Mind and Body. She was our 2 weeks ago, actually. No, it was last week. I believe it was Tuesday. She was with us on an interview. That is Michelle Bolden Ammon, guys. Data Ministries, it's been a while. Thank you so much for being in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another supporter of The Martine Show. F.9 Life, thank you so much. Welcome aboard. And let's see. G. Harris, thank you for being with us. True Intelligence, another fan of the Martine Show. She is here, I would say, almost every show now. True Intelligence, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your support. Ray Ellen's Kitchen, thank you for supporting the Martine Show as well as Nikki Knox. Karina M. Cole, thank you so much, everyone.
Nina.
A Singleton 42, welcome aboard. Thank you, thank you. And that's about it for now. So now that we have gone through that part, what about the author part of you? How did that come about? How did you decide to want to tell your story?
Now, I went back to work. I was working at the hospital. I was a retail manager there, and so I had a lot of time on my hands because we were transitioning into opening up the new cafeteria downstairs. So every night I would just kind of sit around and I knew I wanted to do the recipe book. So I just decided to add the story and then I just started writing while I was at work. Now if they would see this now, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, no she didn't." But I thank them, I thank you. But yeah, so that's how I got that done. Um
Oh my God, I
I
love
know.
every part of your story. Every part of your story. You are a high risk taker.
Yes. Yes, I'm serious. Because it was like, because it took I was there about 6 months before we even, opened up. So, I mean, I'm like, you sitting here and you got this time. And I just started writing. And then it happened. And publisher Paula, who's on, she actually published my book, helped me publish my book as
Oh my
well.
goodness. Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Yes.
Publisher Paula, for being there for Nikki Knox. There's always someone, there's always
Yeah.
someone that
Always.
shows
So,
up.
so she kept
I,
encouraging me through the process. So yeah, and so that's how that happened. Um, yep. So I wanted to
oh
get the food
my
out, and then I
goodness.
wanted to get the story out as well. So just to let people know, just to encourage them, because again, we're on the outside looking in a lot of times, and so we and as believe not even as believers, but just people that just know they have something to do, we probably make it look easy to those that are again looking on the outside, but sometimes it's good to let them in, especially if they're having issues or don't know what to do, or discouraged, and they can see, oh, she did it, then I can do it too, so
Yeah.
that's definitely one reason I wanted to do it.
Most definitely. I wanted to ask you, were you the chef or one of the chefs that were on for the Achi Cruise online? Were
Yeah,
you one of them?
I was,
Ah!
yeah,
Which
I
one
did.
were you? Were you the
I
one
took
doing
it
the
to
drinks?
Hawaii. Yeah, I took it to
You did
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah, I did
Oh
Hawaii.
my
Yeah,
God. Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah,
Now
but
I
I did. I had the braids in then. Yeah,
You did. Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
that
So
was fun.
for those of you who don't know, we're part of an organization. For short, it's called Achi. It's a women supporting women organization, and Miss Nikki Knox happens to be a nominee right now for 2021 as well. So, what was it? A few months back, we had an online cruise type of activity that we did, and we had chefs teaching how to make drinks, how to create dishes, and Miss Nikki Knox was actually one of them who was on there.
Yeah,
Teaching how to make certain things, whether it was a drink or a dish or anything else. So it was classified by theme, and the themes were based on countries that theoretically that we visited, and
right.
you had the props to personify what that looked like, and to have people live that type of sensation while we're all at home,
Yeah,
wherever we were
yeah.
online, participating in this cruise. And I think that was very, very innovative. So thank you
It
so much for being part of
was.
that crew. And just thank you for everything that you did, because it was a long show,
It was.
and for you to be on board doing
Yeah.
all that, like there was a lot going on. So I do thank you so much for
You're
even giving
welcome.
us your time and stuff. So as we move along to talk about your book, where can they support you in terms of getting your book? Do you have a website?
I do. It's extrasugar.com with an X, extrasugar.com. And that my book is there. You can see pictures of the gallery of things that I do as far as personal chef. The sauces are there. You
Mm-hmm.
can contact me, ask me questions. I have a recipe on there that you'll get a couple, if you go on and get one, you make some nice French toast. But yeah, so extrasugar.com.
Okay, let me see if I could put that in the chat, or if somebody could put that in the chat. Extra XRTA
XRT. Extra.
TRA extrasugar.com. Okay. So everybody can pick up her book at extra. It's XRTRA sugar.com. Let's talk about extra sugar. How did you come about with
Oh, it's
um, your
R.
brand name?
That's okay. You said the other branding?
Yes, because I see that your Instagram is extra sugar with Nikki,
Nikki.
right? Which
Yeah.
I think is so spicy.
Extra sugar with Nikki. Extra sugar itself, because a lot of people say, "Oh, you must bake," and I say, "No, I do not bake. Um, do not bake at all." But my chefs that work under me and work for me with the catering, they used to always say, "You always putting something extra, and just you gotta always add something extra." I was like, "Yeah, I do, don't I?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then sometimes they'll say, "What's missing? Sugar?" And I say, "Yeah, yep, that's what's missing. Just put a little bit of sugar in it." And so from there, that's where extra sugar came from. And so that was, the light bulb again that came with the branding. But really, it was the YouTube show is really why I was naming it that. It was Extra Sugar Cooking in the Kitchen with Nikki. So that's the YouTube
Mhm.
channel. So I have taped a few shows, and I'm going to start back up this fall. Um, and so again, just wanted to have some fun in the kitchen, have guests on with me to cook, and we just have fun. Um, and then I just decided to stick with the brand Extra Sugar when it even came to the personal chef, because the personal chef is called personal creating experiences. Um,
Mhm.
And so yeah, so that's where extra sugar came from.
So
Just
awesome. I think it's very, for me, it's not even sugar, it's very spicy. Just hearing it, like I was
just
like,
here.
extra sugar. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's so nice. It actually uh just does get many people's attention. So
Uh-huh.
that's awesome. And you said you have a YouTube channel, so we could go to Extra Sugar Cooking with Nikki
Mm-hmm.
for YouTube and
Yeah.
find you over there. So those of you guys who are on here, please support Nikki on her YouTube channel. Follow her page on Instagram, Extra Sugar with Nikki,
Nikki.
right? Yeah, Extra Sugar with Nikki on Instagram as well. Continue to support her, continue to be there for her because she's there providing her talents, her gifts, her information, her life with us on a daily basis as to what she's going through with her experiences. So I do encourage everyone to please support her on that. So you said your YouTube channel is on, and they can basically watch you create on the channel certain
Mm-hmm.
dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you, what is your style of cooking? What is it that should we expect? Because I know that there are some people who tell you they cook everything. I'm like, that's impossible. So what
What's
is your style of
style?
cooking? Like, what's the taste of extra sugar?
Yeah, extra sugar is definitely more soulful. I would say I'm a more soulful cook. Not necessarily soul food because I don't cook everything, but I can cook a lot of things. We
Mm-hmm.
can go, like I did ceviche one time on the YouTube show. So we can go few different ways. So I'm just always doing something, but it's really full of flavor. I love flavor. I used and I am definitely do not toot my horn often at all. I just let people speak, for me pretty much, and I don't have to really say a lot. But one thing that I do that I pride myself on is that normally whenever I would take foods to an event, I didn't bring salt and pepper because you don't
Mm,
have to season the food after it's done. And honestly, out of
yes.
20 something years, nobody said, "Where's the salt and pepper?" Unless it was a formal event and you had to put the salt and pepper on the tables. But on the
Right.
buffets, things like that, you never do. So I'm just a real soulful cook. Just like to see flavors come out, and again, I can go from soul food, to more, some authentic things when it comes to, I love, some Caribbean food. I like some Indian foods to cook some of those things too as well.
Hmm.
So,
Well, as far as the salt and pepper, I do understand where you're coming from because I'm of Haitian descent and we don't, we season it up for it to be
right,
complete. It's perfect,
right,
whole, and
right.
complete by the time it's on the table. So you don't need to
Yeah,
sprinkle anything on it. So coming
exactly.
from childhood, we know what that's all about.
Right, right, right.
Definitely understand that.
Excuse me.
So So you got the YouTube. She's an author, guys. So also support her with her book, extrasugar.com. Um, in terms of the personal chef now, where are you located so people could know whether they can tap into you and tell you, hey, come over to my house and cook for me type of thing,
Right, right.
What's your range? Like how far would you go?
Actually, I will go wherever the person would want me to go. If they want to fly me to Texas, I'm gonna come to Texas. If you want to, but honestly, I do travel within the radius. I go to Charlotte, I go to Raleigh, I've been to Goldsboro, and I actually have been to Maryland. I have to go to Atlanta soon, but that's one of my best friends. I'm going for that, but I will. I'll travel. I'll travel
Oh,
around.
okay.
I'm in the Greensboro High Point area, but definitely would travel, which makes it even more exciting to be able to go out and go other places.
Yes. Now I'm thinking about the load when you travel. So I guess when you get to the destination is when you purchase the provisions, what you need.
Right, right. Either that or just depending on how far off I am going. Some things I will, purchase before going and then, transport it in a, in a food service way that protects the food while it's going. Being a personal chef though, it takes out the need of having, a professional kitchen and everything. So therefore
Mhm.
you do have to cook the majority of the food at the person's house because they're, hiring you to come cook in their kitchen versus me cooking to take it to them. So
So having a personal chef, let's say it could it could go from a range of maybe a couple of days or a few days. Sometimes it could be like a whole week type of thing,
yeah,
right?
okay, do it that way. Which that one is some, and then you have some people that hire a private chef, which would be more of the area where I would just cook for that family or that person all the time. But that kind
Mm.
of, but that sometimes can limit you on what else you can do because they've hired you as their private chef. So it's like they're my employee versus a personal chef. You go from place to place.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyone who's on the live here or anyone who's going to be watching this video after we post it, if they want to become a just like you, personal chef or caterer, what would be your advice in terms of to get there? What would you tell them where to start?
To definitely study their craft. Even like I have not had culinary training per se, but I did have a chef that mentored me. And with doing that, I was able to learn some of, some other culinary skills that I wouldn't maybe not learn, on my own. But as far as the business itself, coming up with um, your your schemes on your tables and just different things like that, you just want to follow. There's a magazine called Cater Source, and some other, books, Bon Appetit, just different books that you can actually look at, study, and see what the trend is, see what people are doing, and it's okay to do that. It's not that you're copying them, but anywhere else, you study them, you study the business, and then and yeah,
So one thing, what you're saying is really good is to study. It's basically just like when you're on social media, you're watching people's pages and you stumble on someone who basically is like-minded as you and is
hmm
probably going along the lines of what you're doing. It's not like you're mimicking exactly what they're doing, but they're more like a source for you because they're within your niche and you're
right,
watching them. So it's like watching a motivational speaker where you get your inspiration from, type of
Mhm.
thing.
Exactly.
So I totally understand where you're coming from with that, and that's ideal to know. I'm so fascinated by your story in terms of how you just embarked on this brand new journey and just took it over on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you just told us you didn't necessarily go to culinary school, and that was a question that I was going to ask you.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I did, but again, I've studied. I do. I watch, and I mean, literally. I mean, even now, my TV is normally on some type of cooking channel, and it's not always about just because sometimes I just like to see what they do because they make me hungry. Then it just inspires me to go create something on my own. And not necessarily, what they have cooked. And then there's some things you're like, oh, never thought about that. Let me add this to it, or because really that's what most people do. They take a recipe and they make it their own, which is
Yes.
what you want to do. You want to make it your own. You put your personality in the food. Um, so yeah, and then also COVID, within the COVID season, I also birthed Saucy Chick, which is the sauce line.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so we have Saucy Chick, and actually we have a food truck that'll be launching on Saturday. Will be the grand opening for that. So we have sauces and then food that plays off of the sauces.
So saucy chick. you said that you guys have sauces. Now, when you say sauces, are these sauces that you can put on fried food, or what
Yeah,
kind of food?
right. They are gourmet sauces, and you can put them on virtually anything. Um,
Okay.
we have we have four flavors. You have a marinade. Um, you have a hot sauce, which is called She Hot. You got
Mhm.
She Bossy,
She hot.
She Hot, She Bossy. You got Sweet Thing, and Triple Berry Bourbon. So
Girl, I love your branding concepts for real. You know how to get people's attention.
they're like, She Hot. Yep, She Hot. No,
She bossy.
She
What?
Bossy. Yep, She Bossy. Um, and again, that was another. I was like, I need something else to do to offset this COVID season because again, like I said, catering and everything. And so my sister was like, well, why don't you like to make so many different sauces? Why don't you do another recipe book with sauces? And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, no, let's make the sauces and sell them. And
Uh-huh.
so that's what I did. I just got in the kitchen and started that, learned how to bottle them, learn how to label them, learn how to seal them, and then just went from there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow, God bless you.
yeah.
God
So
bless you. You know, it's amazing how you say during the pandemic because, um, like I've said this on many different shows, interviews with so many different people, it could go either way, you know.
right, yeah,
Um, it it COVID has been a distraction in all our lives, I would say, right? But
absolutely,
at the same time, not to allow it to take over your life is what
yeah,
was most important, and you did exactly so, you know.
yeah,
So you ended up taking advantage um of the season
mm-hmm.
so that you can
That
come out with something. And
yes,
part of your story is like, well, during this time, this is what I created.
this is what I created. Yeah,
And I think
because
that it's so powerful.
at that time I was still at the hospital. And being a manager, we would get emails all the time to where we could see the numbers and the numbers, especially in
Yeah,
the beginning. So it got very overwhelming. And so instead of me, getting back in a funk, depressed, scared, just not knowing, I was like, you got to take this energy and do something else with it, because if not, you're gonna go crazy too.
yeah,
So I said we got to do something. So that's how that came in place too, because it was the energy that needed to burn so that I wouldn't get anxiety and things like that, because that was a hard place being at the hospital and everything. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, this is how my show came about. My show started August 2020
Wow.
because I wanted to refocus and be like, I need to do something. I've been working from home since March 2020. I'm in healthcare as well. I'm in healthcare administration. And
Wow.
basically, I had the opportunity to be able to work from home. And from the time that I started working from home, I said, I'm going to be on video and I'm going to start doing my videos. And then from one thing to another, it went to, YouTube. I was on this app called Rizzle, did videos there. And then now I ended up, from August last year, doing these Instagram interviews with so
Mm,
many different people. So
that's
I do
good. That's
understand.
good.
Yeah, it keeps me busy and I get to meet so many great people,
Mhm.
connect on another level. I've grown so much just by doing this show.
Yes, yes.
um, it's been amazing. So I understand when you're saying that we need to just take whatever it is that's happening and like turn it into fuel for us.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. That's what we did.
And
So
did
I'm
and
glad
did you find that doing the show built your confidence in your,
for sure,
yeah,
for sure, for
yeah, because
sure.
I know doing YouTube, I was like, I don't want to, I didn't want to do it, but I knew I needed to do it. But
Yeah,
it did build my confidence and started, getting in front of, even though people weren't directly in front of me, it was still knowing somebody was watching me. And
for
so
sure.
that, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, for sure. Getting on video all together, I started to build my confidence on this app called Rizzle and met a whole bunch of people. The good thing about the journeys that I started is that I go to places where I don't know anybody at all, not a
Gotcha.
soul. And I start to just move around and get a feel of it and start connecting. And from there on, next thing you know, I'm like connected with these people till now and having a great time, you know? So it same thing happened. I moved on. They moved on following me to YouTube, moved on following me here, you know, and we just kind of created our own little network, which turned out to be really nice. So in terms of building my confidence, for sure, like I'm such a better person now. More at ease with myself. When I started doing Instagram lives, I didn't even know what a live button was.
Right.
Okay. I didn't know what that button was. I didn't know it was like way up there where the photo is. I had no idea until I got it. Then I had anxiety issues, but nobody really know what I did, you know, and all that stuff. Until now, it's just like, okay, second nature, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. EST, who's next? You know?
Right. Let's do it. Let's do it. No.
So that's just the way I am with it. So I'm happy about that. And I'm really happy that you asked me that question because it's important. It's important. It's part of our self-development. It really is. So moving on to Achi before we leave,
Yeah.
your nomination. You've been part of Achi for a while, right now?
No, really, whenever I think from doing the going on the tour, going on the cruise was really
Really?
my first involvement. Yes, I've seen it over the years. I've seen, the other nominees and the other phenomenal women. And I was like, what is this?
Are
What
you
is this?
serious?
And so, yep, and then when I met Kim, we it's again, I still wasn't a part of the organization, but I started, learning a little bit more. And then it wasn't until the cruise that I like got adopted. So that was nice.
Oh, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Welcome aboard.
Thank
I basically was nominated uh back in 2019,
you. Okay.
and I actually won also as a community leader back in 2019. Um, that's how I was introduced to Achi. Till today, I don't know who nominated me, you know.
Right.
And since then, I've been connected with Achi. Then I became an official member of the group. Started just connecting and engaging and doing things with the group online, and I'm very committed to Achi. You know, like I tell people, it's a prestigious organization, that the experience that you will have at Achi. For me, I haven't experienced it anywhere else. It's very separate and distinct. You know, I've experienced many other good women organizations, but Achi is different, totally different for me. You know, I can tell you this show right here, it was actually created from the fact that I know that I needed to push myself,
Hmm.
and I push myself within company with everyone with Achi to come to the point where I can do this show, you know. And it's amazing to see because I didn't know when I connected with Achi what kind of journey I was starting, but it was really a journey of self-confidence, you know, a journey of self-awareness and self-development. And it's ironic that my show is a self-love journey. It's about self-awareness, self-development, and everything social. Okay?
Yes.
And everything
Yes.
that we discuss comes from the guests. So, um, what else can I say about Achi? You know, that's why, like, when I posted in the group and I said, if you allow the Achi in you to just come through, like, you're going to embark on a brand new journey. Like, I mean it from my heart. This is a real thing because everybody has an Achi in them, you
Right.
know, but some of us don't know about our own personal Achi,
That's true.
you
That's
know,
very.
and
Yep.
I find my Achi once I connected. And back in 2019, we had the opportunity. Well, it was pre-COVID, so we had the opportunity to go to a luncheon where we would meet the ladies in a small group sector, and each woman would come to this luncheon and share their personal story. And when they share their personal story, that's how we would connect and identify one another to know exactly what each person did. So that was the first portion. And that's where you also would pick up your nomination categories. That's
Okay.
when you would know, like you get the red envelope and it will tell you what you were nominated for until you go to the luncheon. So it was like pretty much more of a surprise type thing. Like, you know, you're nominated, but you just don't know how. You just got to
Right,
show up.
right.
When you show up, you're like, oh my God, this is what they thought of me, you know, type of thing. So it was like that. And then it would be approximately a couple of months later, we would show up again for the grand ceremony, whatever location it is, that's for the award ceremony.
Right.
You know? So that's a whole nother meetup. And that was basically like I always say it's like the Emmy Awards type thing. You
Uh-huh.
know, everybody's nice gowns, well dressed up, black tie affair, beautiful to the point that you get there until the very end. Very warm, very welcoming, um, very prestigious. Okay. And
Yeah.
I remember mine was in Maryland in 2019. And till today, I remember my reaction when I heard my name. I was just like,
Like,
that's my name. And I was with one of my friends. She was like, they called you. And I'm like, oh. It was amazing. It was amazing. So, congratulations on being connected with us. Seriously,
I'm
you
excited.
know.
I'm excited.
And if you didn't tell me this, if we didn't have this interview, I would have thought that you were part of Achi for like years.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm new.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is really, truly amazing to me. And I do recall seeing you on the cruise, the online cruise where you were doing your demonstrations. Now I do recall that really well. And I thought you were just like been there for the longest.
No,
I love this. I really, really
I
love
know.
this.
No,
Um,
I'm new and
so
excited. New and
so
excited.
with that being said, with your nomination, how do you feel about that? Like now that you know pretty much a bit of a background of Achi, a little bit more on a personal tip, and I'm sure you're going to be learning from everybody because everybody has something different to say, but it comes down to the same at the end, you know? How do you really feel about this nomination?
I was definitely shocked. Because, well, one, because like I said, a few years ago, when just looking on Facebook, and one um one of my friends had gotten nominated, and I kept seeing
Mhm.
these red envelopes, and stuff like that. I was like, what is this? What, how they get nominated? What is it? And so I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, that must be really nice, because just looking at the women that were getting nominated were some phenomenal women, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is really good. And that's all and after that I didn't think anymore about it until Kim had reached out to me about, being a guest that on the ship and everything, and becoming a part. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, because I've seen so much about you all. And then when I got the email, I was like, oh, okay, for real. I was like, no, this, and I was like, okay,
Oh.
kind of in shock, just didn't know. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I just felt so honored. And then I was like, I wonder who nominated me, especially after thinking about it, years ago.
Mhm.
So yeah, so now I get to see what all of this was about, and the women, the collaboration of women, just the whole network part and just all of it, really. And I just think it's just amazing. I really do. But I am
Yes.
honored. I am very honored.
Awesome. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. So, for those of you who don't know, I want to take the time to just read a little bit on the Achi Magazine Awards show for you guys to know exactly a little bit of a background of what the organization stands for. So, the purpose of Achi is to honor the contributions of extraordinary women working in various fields throughout the Hampton Roads area and beyond. Our goal is to celebrate the spirit of womanhood and to give encouragement to those women who would follow. The mission to inspire, empower, encourage, and to educate the minds of women from all races, cultures, and creeds. Now, the criteria is women who, through consistency and longevity, have achieved success in a chosen profession or career are eligible for consideration. Potential honorees are those persons who are viewed not only for what they have done individually, but also for the achievement they inspire in others.
Wow. Wow.
So, Miss Nikki Knox, now is your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Be honored because you are honored.
I am. Oh my gosh, I am. I really am.
So
Amazing.
before we leave, I want to take the time to ask if anybody have any questions for Miss Knox right here. If you do, by all means, please put it in the chat. Or if you have any comments on her bubbliness and all that she shared, by all means, put it in the chat before we go. I'm going to restate extrasugar.com. That is her website that you guys can go to and purchase her book. If you want to connect with Miss Nikki Knox, it's Extra Sugar with Nikki Knox, with Nikki, right? Extra Sugar with Nikki on Instagram.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Extra Sugar with Nikki on Instagram. She will be tagged on this video as well, so you'll be able to connect with her further and follow her journey. Follow her journey. She's also on YouTube, Extra Sugar Cooking with Nikki. Okay, so you'll be able to connect with her on YouTube also. I want to take the time to say thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you. Is that hour went by fast? I was
Yes,
like, an hour? We must talk for an hour?
I know. You probably was like, do I really have something to say for an hour? Like,
I know. Wow.
but I always get the best of you guys, and you guys don't even realize it. Some
Right.
people are like, oh, it's already time. Like, I gotta go. I'm like,
I
yeah.
know. I'm like, oh, is it 9 o'clock? Yeah.
So that's a good feeling altogether.
Yeah, definitely.
So on that note, one thing I will request of you is to email me. I will send you my email. Well, you have that, but I'll send you my email again because I would like a copy of your biography because I'm creating a blog where I'm posting a lot of the biographies of the women that I've interviewed. So I definitely would love your biography forwarded to me to my email, and I'll just let you know when we post the blog portion. The video portion also will be posted on my YouTube, which is author Martine Maya's handle on YouTube as well. Okay. And we're just going to take it from there. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And once again, congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
On that note, thank you everyone for being in attendance. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for warming the set up for each and every one of us. I will see you all again this what is it, Thursday coming?
Thursday.
Yep, this Thursday at 8 p.m. EST for another one. And at this point, we're gonna say good night to Nick.
Good night.
Good night,
everybody.
Have a good one, dear. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.